first, live, local. This is Good Day Oregon Plus.
Hello, everyone. This is Good Day Oregon Plus. Thanks for joining us. We are live streaming here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom on this first alert weather day, right after Good Day Oregon, and we've got a lot to talk about here. We're going to be joined by our own Katie Zuniga here in just a couple of minutes to talk some more about this, but I wanted to pull up some of the different cameras from around the region. Now, there's the Shriners camera for downtown Portland, but some of the biggest things that we're seeing are over on the coast. Now, there's our live look from our Seaside camera. But we just received some of these pictures I'm going to pull up here for you from Tillamook. And taking a look right there, that is some flooding, looks like right by downtown Tillamook that is going on. We're going to have to get some more information on that. Here's a video that we received. This is from somebody's backyard right there. A viewer sent this in, so thank you to whoever sent this in. Sorry about the flooding. We do encourage everybody, if you do have pictures or videos like this, feel free to send them in and let us take a look here. There's some more. Again, this is all around the Tillamook area over there on the coast where we've heard there is quite a bit of flooding there. You can see too, I think that's probably, that's just outside of Tillamook. Man, yeah, that is a lot of water coming in there. And then we also have some here from Nescoin, a little bit further south by Lincoln City. There's some looks like a landslide on the side of the road, side of the highway there. So certainly a lot, and then back up to Seaside, some flooding there on 101, which always seems to get flooded right in that area. And hello, we are joined here now by Katie as well. Katie, I'm pressing a lot of buttons here. Let me just move this around, so a lot of things going on. But we do have Katie joining us here to talk about some of this in this first alert weather day. So yeah, thanks for being here. Let me pull up your info here too. If you want to see what it's like behind the scenes when we're covering all this stuff, this is what's happening right now.
Yes.
I will get that pulled up.
That's good.
But Katie, how's it been going here so far today?
I want to say it's expected. Yeah. Everything that we talked about, everything that we went through yesterday that we thought was going to happen. Yeah. That's pretty much.
It's pretty much expected. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I remember yesterday we were talking here about this and. Yeah, this
and I have the checks and balances to show you that what we expected happened.
You were saying that over the night, that was when it was going to really come down in the morning there, and Yep,
and the winds picked up, and the rains came, and we have down trees. We have the flooding that you were showing the pictures of. Yes. We have rain totals that I might not even, they might have already updated from when I walked from the studio to here. Yeah. They might even be off because they're updating so frequently with the amount of rains that are coming in.
It's a lot of water.
Yes. So you want to get on over to
let's go ahead and do it. So
I actually, no, that's
that's the wrong one. Okay, let's go ahead and switch here. We will get you your correct one.
There we go. That's the right one. Okay, so this is what we want to talk about. Is we are in our second of our 3 first alert weather days, and we are continuing into tomorrow. And I'll explain why. Even though the rain is backing down and slowing down, and the winds are not as strong, we still need to be on alert through tomorrow because of the shear amount. So at this point, we're now from this point forward looking at about another inch, at least up to an inch in the metro and valleys. It'll be obviously more in the mountains and a little more along the coast. It is going to get gusty again this afternoon and evening. We have a south wind coming in. It's actually going to warm us up. We might even be warming into the 60s. Wow. Into this evening, so we'll be paying attention to that. Yep, and then areas of flooding, mudslides, and power outages, all of which we have had today, could continue again into tomorrow, because just because the rain is stopping does not mean that we don't have the impacts of everything that we have received. And part of what we had talked about yesterday was, obviously we get a lot of rain here in the Pacific Northwest. It was the time, the condensed time, and the winds that made this particularly important to us to alert everyone to, because everyone's like, oh, we get rain all the time. We don't get 4 inches in 24 hours.
Yeah, that's a lot of rain.
Yeah, we get 5.5 or 5 3/4 over an entire month. But when you see how much rain is in Tillamook and they give you the count, you'll see why that was flooded when you showed us that picture that somebody sent in. And then here we are looking at live radar. I mean, it's the yellow is starting to back off, which is good. That means it's not as heavy, but it's continually and consistently raining. We're not having little breaks here or there. It's, almost from the coast
It's just
to
consistent rain.
Yep, and then out in Pendleton, it's been raining pretty good out there as well. So those have been.
It looks like Pendleton's getting.
And it's
pretty
almost
good.
been the entire morning that it's been seeing it just as much. Okay, this is yesterday alone. Okay. So there's Tillamook, 3.5 inches. It started accumulating for us here in the metro at 6:15. So we got 1 inch and 4/10, 1.4 inches yesterday. If you look down toward Eugene, we talked about it not being as bad down there. They only got 2/100 of an inch compared to the 3.5 that we saw at Tillamook. The Astoria number, that's not correct. Astoria was not dry. Just so you know.
Magically went around it.
What you see over toward the east side, then that is correct. Now you add the latest totals for today. Oh, yep, that did go up a bit, so my number is going to be off. But still, you can see this is today. So we have had, to put this into perspective, and I told you this morning it was going to be the heaviest rain. What we received from 6 o'clock in the morning until midnight last night is the exact same amount that we have received since midnight to 11 a.m. So if you do the math in the hours, much less time, several less hours at the same amount of rain. So the heaviest rain was this morning. It is backing off a bit. So there we are, 1.3 today, 1 inch. So pretty much the exact same amount.
I mean, I think just looking at some of those numbers too, I was seeing how Olympia had, over 3 inches. I think Kelso had more yesterday. Is that what that was? And now it's coming down here.
And that's what happened this morning. So you remember when we looked at the precipitable water and it showed you it was the atmospheric river and it was kind of just like grazing up and down the west coast. So that's where you saw where it was up more to the north yesterday. Now it's down more south. Now it's going to start moving back up again to the north tonight.
Okay.
So that's that whole fire hose analogy that I give you. So we're only 1/10 of an inch away from the exact same amount we got yesterday. But then Salem, quite a bit more this morning, so it's been way more wet. Eugene, 3/10 of an inch as opposed to the 2/100 of an inch yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit more wet to the south. If we look at there, this is the metro area. Aurora, 1.6. You see a lot less in Kelso. Hood River's getting some at 4/10, and then Salem, you can see that. So there are your numbers for yesterday, today. So this did update. So if you do the math, that'll be a few tenths of an inch off, but basically we're at just a little more than 4 1/4 for the month, with most of that being yesterday and today.
Man.
So we talked about that 2 to 4 inches over the 3-day period. That's exactly what we are hitting on the mark. Here are the most updated numbers. Thank you, Mark Nelson, for doing this for me from home today. Our chief went in and got all these numbers. So these are the wettest spots so far since early yesterday. Look at that. Sheep Canyon in Washington, 10 inches.
To be honest, I'm not sure where Sheep Canyon is. I'll have to take a look here, but that is a lot.
Yep. North Fork and Jewel both have more than 8 inches, almost 8.5 there. You can see North Fork, Mount Hebo, 7 1/10. Ariel, Washington, 7.5. So those are our wettest areas since early yesterday when all of this rain took off. Now, let's look ahead a little. This is the current forecast for what we call our graph model. Keeps us consistently light rain into the evening tonight. And then if you look here, Greg, you can see now that heavy rain is to the north again, right?
Yes.
And if
swinging back that way.
Yep, so if you watch when I put this in motion, it's all pretty much going to stay up there. Now, we're not going to be dry. This is 3 o'clock. You can see some showers on the coast, some showers in the metro, and we do have some off and on showers, again, going into Thursday, and then we dry up Thursday night into Friday. There's a chance that Friday could be mainly dry, maybe a shower or two coming in. But this is what we're watching. Now, they haven't backed off any areas yet, but they did back it off to Thursday morning instead of Friday.
Okay.
So still watching because the after effects, the impacts of all of this rain will be with us, even though the rain is slowing down today to light rain, not heavy or moderate. It's still going to be a while before the waters recede, everything comes off the mountain that got...
Yeah, it takes a while to get down. And...
Yep. So this is at least through Thursday morning at this point. Looking forward, so again, yesterday, remember when we were looking at the evening and then into this morning, and we saw those totals were up in the heavy, high, medium to heavy range?
Yes.
They were 7, 8 tenths in 3-hour period. Now today, we have consistent rain through 10 o'clock, maybe a little lighter around the commute time. but it's all in the light range. And then a little Wednesday night, a little Thursday morning, a little Thursday afternoon, but only getting us to about 0.8 of an inch in 3 days.
Okay.
As opposed to the 2 to 4 that we were seeing at the beginning of all of this. So good news, backing off for us a
Somebody
bit.
was just asking, I see here on Facebook, because we are live streaming on several different platforms. Sean asked, could you turn the faucet off, please? So,
I'm trying.
yeah.
I really
Katie's working on it.
am. I would like to turn off the faucet and turn on the snow machine,
Yeah.
if I could, for, of course, the mountain. And then Salem is a little, it's a little more wet. Maybe there's a dry period in the middle, in the afternoon and early evening, but still only 3/4 of an inch of rain. And then it looks dry through the rest of the next 3 days. So it is starting to slow down and back off for us. Yesterday when we looked at this, we were in the 2 to 3 inch range in the metro and valleys, still the coast range, seeing quite a
Yes.
bit there. And then over, you can see where Pendleton and that area still pretty high in that, but we've backed into that 0.5 to 1 inch range for the metro and valley. So it is definitely slowing down.
Now you mentioned it's slowing down here. Just a quick question,
Yeah.
or maybe I should wait.
What's your question?
You mentioned it going back up north. Does that mean people more north from here are going
Like in Washington.
Washington, like
Yep.
Kelso area, or
Farther than
north?
that. Yep,
Okay.
further north
Okay.
than that. Yep, Southwest Washington is kind of going to see the same
Okay.
that the metro is going to see.
Gotcha.
So this is tomorrow. There's even areas that look dry in the metro and valleys. And then again, you can see more to the north. Now the few early showers on Thursday, that would hit Kelso and some of those areas
Okay.
of Astoria. And then it backs off for Friday. And even now, that's backed off even more than the last time. So that's definitely showing less of a chance of rain, which will be more probably Saturday night into Sunday morning. You can see some showers.
Okay.
And now when we get to the 7-day, we'll talk about next week and what we're starting to watch once we get to this. So here we are, the end of tonight, around 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. 1/2 inch for the metro, 0.3 of an inch close for Salem, a little more than that in Tillamook. Lee's Camp still getting pummeled. Bonneville Dam
man.
still getting pummeled. Up to Longview, inch and a half, Yale and Astoria. So still some higher totals again to the north, unless as you head down into the valleys. And then fast forward this to Thursday, and you're seeing just a little more here, there, nothing too, but the totals, the whole point of this is to show they're not racking up as much
Right.
as we're going through. Now we're ending Thursday night, and we're not seeing, much more than an inch, 3/4 of an inch. But Lee's Camp and Bonneville, Yale, Longview, all those are still seeing, a couple inches possible, with that being a little more to our north. Now, river flooding. Here's an update on local rivers. So Johnson Creek and Cowlitz are in minor, so we're keeping an eye. We're closely watching those areas. And if you head down in and toward Happy Valley area, you can see that's where we're watching through Lentz and Happy Valley and Eastmoreland.
Yeah.
Those, we had some issues out there. Mackenzie was out there all morning with the, Johnson Creek and watching that.
We've
and
got
then,
some footage of that too that we can show
along
here in a
the
minute.
coast. So here you can see a couple areas. Most of these will start to fall or recede later tonight, but just between here in the coast, there are some areas that we're watching there. Move up to the north a bit, and as you saw and you watched the Tillamook pictures and video that you had earlier.
Yes.
So here's where we're watching. All of these should be cresting about midday, and then some of the heavier ones are actually up in Washington, and those were pretty bad. Those ones were in the major. All of the ones in yellow were in minor, and then the 2 purple at the top in Washington were in major flood risk.
I mean, right there makes sense from what you were showing earlier with those numbers that we're getting, and right there on the coast like that.
Yeah. So again, this is why we still have a first alert day tomorrow, because this is going to impact us for a few days. And we are going to, after tomorrow, we get that warm air that's coming in tonight. That'll keep us warmer in the low 60s tomorrow. It does start backing off, but again, sure, you're like, oh, mid 50s. We should be at like 47.
Yeah.
It is still so very warm. And this is where people are asking about mountain snow. At this point, through the 18th, we're still just not seeing
I mean, if we had that cold front at the same time, I mean, that would have been probably.
Yeah, things would have been a little different. And then overnight, we'd have a little dip on Saturday, but that's still 10 degrees above average for a low temperature that we're supposed to have. So we're staying warm and wet for the 38. Yeah, there we go. So that's still pretty warm. Here were our gusts yesterday. Magic Mile we talked about up on the mountain, got to 91. That was the gust yesterday, the high gust that they had. And then you take it all the way down to the airport, and the high gust that we had was 35. Today, going to start, and I'm about to show you where and when the gusts will get up, not as bad.
Okay.
So even though, it's still a concern because our ground is so saturated. So this was today, you can see the highest gust we had last night, there you go, 32 at 11 p.m. And then here's what we're looking at for today. It's pretty calm until we get to about 6 o'clock. And then we get up into the upper 20s, low 30s. So not as strong as yesterday, but think about all the rain that we've just had. And now we're getting into these wind gusts again tonight. And then we'll look at Salem. There we go. So we got into the mid 30s there, highest peak right around 1 a.m. That's when all that rain started coming down. And then it backs off as we go into this morning. And then now we're going to look ahead. Tomorrow morning, we're back into the 20s all the way through the afternoon. So tomorrow will be mainly low to mid 20s for some gusts there through the valley. So not quite calming down just yet. And of course, we were talking about it being pretty gusty out there in Troutdale yesterday, still in the, so it's, nothing that we would be too concerned about if we hadn't had all of this rain over the last couple days, but definitely something that we
With that super soaked ground,
got to keep our eye on. So keeping a first alert day for tomorrow. Again, just a few showers, but watching for flooding and slides. Then we back off for the showers. So basically Thursday through Sunday, it's going to be warm and just showery, maybe even dry on Friday. But if you can see Monday there, it says rainy again, but it's also in the mid 50s. So whether this is going to be another Pineapple Express, those kind of things, watching for one of those as we get a little closer, but watching for potential. And I was actually going to show you this right here. Here we go. Okay. So this is, people are always asking, we had a couple questions yesterday, do we see anything coming out for snow in this area or that area? So likely now between the 18th, which isn't about as far out as we will go with kind of making this sort of prediction, is no lowland snow. There's going to be nothing below 3,000 feet. And that you would expect no Arctic blast, no cold air coming in, dropping in like we can get, or coming through the gorge. That's what gives us our snows that way. The windstorms are unlikely, so we consider a windstorm 50 miles per hour or more. So it's unlikely that we're going to see anything like that, as I just showed
That's
you.
Good.
30, 35 mile per hour gusts. But if you, I'm sure you might be running this as you get into your Good Day Oregon Plus here in a bit. Mackenzie was out there in West Linn, where it is a massive tree.
I've got that footage. We'll pull that up here.
So people can see that this is exactly what we were talking about. Like a normal tree would not, that size tree would not come down in the gusts that we've had, but with that super saturated ground, that thing, it was huge, a huge tree that got taken down. Do you have that?
I'll see here if I can pull up.
Oh, there we go.
An image of it. I've got the full package, but we'll.
There we go.
Let's see here. If I do this, it'll probably start.
Yeah.
There we go. So
you can see how big that tree is that came down there in West Linn. And that's just super saturated ground.
That is a massive tree.
That is big. A big
Wow.
tree for not having a big giant windstorm or an ice storm or anything like that usually takes them down. And then, of course, that last point, widespread flooding, yes. And we are watching later next week, too.
Oh. All right.
Yes.
Worry about that a little later.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there, right? Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to remind everyone, we definitely want to encourage you to get this Fox 12 Weather app. I gave an update this morning when I came in on the rain totals and what we were expecting for the morning. So morning, commute, if you head out to work in the morning, or if you're headed home or headed out to work in the evenings, we have all this. We give you those minute-long updates, most important details, quick hits. We update our app a couple times a day. We have full videos of the full forecast that you can watch on there too. You can submit your videos for your weather, your pets, all those kind of things that we use both on air and to help. We can't be everywhere, so when we get video of flooding in Tillamook and seaside and all those kind of things, we really appreciate that, because we try to be everywhere that we can, but when we get the viewer videos and photos and things, it really helps keep us informed and updated and tell the weather story when we can see those areas that we can't get to.
Speaking of which, we just got some footage in. This is from Malala Elementary School. So out there, some flooding.
Oh, yeah,
going
there
through
you go.
Yep.
Yep.
Right through there. I believe we might have somebody heading out there. I know we've got reporters going all over the place.
Yeah, trying to catch
Looking
on these.
here, going back to what we showed at the beginning there,
Yep.
these are these images that came in from Tillamook. So yeah, if people would like to send in your images,
Yes, please do.
your
We
photos,
appreciate to see
videos,
them.
because this helps us get the word out as well.
Yep.
I mean, we can be a lot of places, but we can't be everywhere, so this helps.
It does.
And,
Yeah, look
same.
at that road completely. And you got to be careful in
Yeah.
those situations. You don't want to drive your car through. I heard your interview that you had about how much
Yeah.
water is displaced by a tire to stay on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and even a small amount of water. This is from an interview we did yesterday. You may be able to walk through it, but don't drive your car through it.
Yeah.
Because it does not take much for your car to get swept up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's on one of those highways, maybe just going into Tillamook there.
Yep.
And then down over in Nesquin too, some slides,
Yeah.
mudslide right there. And I am seeing, since we are live streaming here, I do see a question here coming from Tiffany. How is it looking on Highway 22/20 to Redmond? Doesn't seem like there was as much water over there, but we do have.
On the other side of the Cascades, you're fine.
Yeah, so you'd be okay over
Yeah.
there.
In fact,
And I will say we do have the
Joe-
Oregon Department of Transportation joining us here in just less than 10 minutes, so we can ask some more questions from them
yeah.
as well.
Well, Joe was asking me earlier about, what was it like on the other side? And I'm going to see if I can get this back here to
I
show
can
you.
probably get some pictures brought up here from. Sorry, this is live, so we're moving everything around here at the same
Yeah,
time.
this
but
is the-
You know what? These are good questions that you have. So
So here's,
I'm just going to pull up. Do you want to pull up?
yeah, I want to show this is the rain total so far today that shows the other side of the Cascades.
Okay, there we go.
So nothing Redmond, nothing Madras. John Day has 207 inch. Pendleton's had 0.3 of an inch. So, I mean, with all the rain we've been seeing on radar, that checks out. But if you're on the other side of the Cascades,
Not too bad.
you might be getting drippy, but so far not much of the community. And this goes back to the conversation we had yesterday about the atmospheric river and the height that it is and the rain shadow and the Cascades and the coast getting the most because of the coast range and then the metro and valleys getting the second most. So there we go. You got it?
Yeah, I was looking for just to see what we have around
Yeah.
this area. So this is Warm Springs, not much.
Yeah. And then let's look through here. There's 20. It's looking pretty
Highway
just
20.
wet.
There's at Sisters. So sorry, I know those pictures are probably pretty small on your screen right now for what people are looking at, but this is looking at trip check and just from the Oregon Department of
Yeah, I
Transportation
mean,
here. So
just nothing.
showing snapshots of some other places, but yeah, on the east side, not so bad. West side,
Yes.
there is a lot going on over there. And we'll go back to that. So that's that landslide down there that we were showing earlier. So a lot going on there. Okay. Yeah, if nobody has any more questions, what we'll do is get ready here too, because like I said, we did have the Oregon Department of Transportation. It's going to be joining us, but we were talking about that tree, and Mackenzie was out there, so I want to run that just so people can see what's happening there. And Katie, thank you for being here.
I'll likely be here tomorrow to do a final
Yes.
recap of our 3 days where we land when everything kind of finally slows down and get ready for hopefully some quiet days.
I like that idea. But a lot more happening today. So we will have Oregon Department of Transportation will be joining here in just a little bit. We've got the Portland Bureau of Transportation as well, talking about what's going on in the metro area, and I'm sure we'll have more guests here all leading up to the noon news as well. So a lot to talk about, a lot to cover. And as we mentioned earlier, please send in your pictures, your photos, download that Fox 12 weather app, Fox 12 Oregon app, and let us see what's going on in your area, because we would love to know and share it with other people, particularly if there are issues going on.
Yep, things they need to know about.
Yeah, things they need to know about, exactly. All right, let me turn around here again so you can see how the magic happens as I'm pressing buttons. Going through this, a lot going on today, and just trying to make sure that we get as much info to you as we can. All right, let's recap this here. This is from this morning, and this was Mackenzie going out there to take a look at this.
And a pretty dangerous situation in West Linn this morning.
That's where a tree came down onto a road, taking power lines with it. Fox 12's Mackenzie Richmond joins us live now from the scene. Mackenzie, good morning.
Good morning. A pretty shocking scene here in West Linn. Take a look behind me. I mean, that is a huge tree there now covering the entire length of the road, even going on over it now. You can see right now workers just arrived mere seconds ago before y'all tossed to me here. Now they're trying to work on figuring out how exactly to clear this roadway that now has been closed for a few hours at this point. Now this is Willamette Falls Drive. That's where the tree is laying across right now. But the road is actually closed from 10th Street, where we are, all the way down to Chestnut Street, which is about a mile, if not a little bit more than that, all because of this huge tree that fell and now again is blocking the whole road. Now another truck is pulling up. You can see quite a few crews there right now trying to work and figure out how they're exactly going to start to remove this big tree and the blockage. Now it's also a safety precaution though, this big road closure, because the tree, well, when it fell, it took down some power lines. Now according to PGE, this is impacting over 3,000 customers who haven't had power since about 6:15 this morning when the tree fell. Because of this power outage and the down tree, it of course is an inconvenience, but it was also quite a scare for those who live close by, like Joshua Romero, who lives just 3 houses down from where the tree fell.
When I woke up this morning, woke up to 3 big booms and I saw lights flashing, thought it was gunshots, and I honestly didn't know what was going on. And then after I woke up, there was 2 more, and I walked outside, saw the pole have a little bit of damage to it, but I didn't see the tree because it was too dark.
Now, as for the road closure, it's not clear when the road will be back open. West Linn police right now are asking you to take a different route if this is part of your normal commute. Now, the best way around it is likely going to be taking 205, but a fair warning, as we were driving here to our location this morning, we were driving on 205 and noticed quite a few road closures, or rather lane closures, due to flooding, heavy flooding, a few inches deep. So really something to look out for. We actually even did notice a minor crash on the road, bumper to bumper, a few cars there backed up. That's likely closed now or cleaned up now because that was a few hours ago. But again, these roads are slick this morning, huge risk of hydroplaning. So just be careful when you are on your morning commute. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated throughout this whole first alert weather day and tomorrow, and bring you those updates on air and on our app. For now, reporting live, I'm Mackenzie Richmond for Good Day Oregon.